All those stories coming up this morning, and joining me to talk about it, Fox Business Network's Dagen McDowell. Tematica Research Chief Macro Strategist Lenore Hawkins with us today, and National Review reporter and Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
You're a star.
We know where you were last night.
I know.
She was already a star, but star was being showcased.
That red dress has got to be trending on Twitter. The dress? Was that bad? Yeah, maybe.
I want to see the earrings. I want to see the earrings. Do you have them in your purse?
No, I don't.
Did you come straight over?
I left them at home. We have a big show today. We're going to talk about that Al Smith dinner as well. Coming up this morning, a former Florida Congressman, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, is with us. Harvard University law professor, defense attorney, and author of Electile Dysfunction, a guide for unaroused voters. Alan Dershowitz is with us. Former advisor to the White House of Management and Budget and one of the principal architects of Obamacare, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel is with us. That's a must, can't miss interview coming up. Zeke Emanuel is with us. The final push with just 18 days until Election Day. The nominees are back on the campaign trail this morning, hitting crucial swing states. Donald Trump stumping in North Carolina and Pennsylvania, while Hillary Clinton heads to Ohio this morning. Donald Trump created a stir at Wednesday's debate when he declined to say whether he would accept the results of the election. Here's what he told supporters yesterday.
I would like to promise and pledge to all of my voters and supporters and to all of the people of the United States that I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
Let's bring in Tom Baer, a Democratic strategist and Hillary Clinton supporter. Tom, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Donald Trump went on to say that he would accept a clear election result. Give us your take on these comments.
Well, I think they're bizarre, and I think they're somewhat grotesque, but I also think they're kind of sad. Here we are, after 160 years, we have the first candidate who, prior to an election, says that he is not committing to accept the results. There have been situations, I know Dagen is going to mention Al Gore. There are situations in which, after the fact, something is raised. And in his case, change in the vote in Florida, and then it went on to the Supreme Court. And after that, and even before that, but after that, he graciously accepted the result, the peaceful transfer of power.
Right.
So I think it's very unfortunate, and I think most people feel the same way I do. And he's playing around with it, as he did yesterday, Maria.
Well, I mean, isn't it true, though, that you know what he meant? I mean, when you see things like that video out where Democratic consultants are paying people to go incite violence, when you see these, speculations about dead people voting, he's saying, I want to see what happens, and then I'm going to let you know later. I mean, I think it was half in jest.
Well, sometimes it's hard to tell with Donald what's in jest and what is not in jest. I don't think that was funny because he said it twice. As far as the examples that you cite, sure, there are going to be abuses. That would be a normal thing in any election. But of course, what he is talking about is confined to cities. And there's been a lot of code words used around here in this campaign. And I think he's talking about the cities. And when he talks about the cities, that means minorities and others. He's not talking about fraud in Kansas, where it probably exists too, in limited amounts. But studies have showed that this is an immaterial number.
For the record, I thought it was kind of funny when he said, if I win. Sorry, I laughed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll point people to an editorial that's in the Wall Street Journal today talking about the media coverage of what Donald Trump said in the debate. The media doing their best Scarlett O'Hara. I can't believe that he said that. The country has been damaged permanently. I have the vapors. And I'll read from the end of that editorial because it's just it's an eye roller. It was so over the top. And yeah, the journal admits that Trump's comments were ham-handed and self-defeating. But the reaction from the media only feeds the impression that this election, that the media is trying to quote, preordain the election's outcome. And I think that every front page of every newspaper yesterday, it was just this faux outrage, was just comical and laughable.
He has no respect for America. This is terrifying. And these are all things that I heard. It's like, can we chill?
Right.
Well, I think he said it, and you can analyze that he said it, but again, it's the just over-the-top reaction.
Yeah.
But what it goes to a lot is that there is a mistrust of our process.
Right.
We've seen a lot of evidence that there are a lot of shenanigans going on. We don't know the degree to which the shenanigans are going on. And this is something we're seeing all across the world where faith in the establishment is sadly declining.
It's not just Al Gore. The Democrats have been arguing since 2004 that George Bush stole Ohio from John Kerry. So these theories are firmly rooted in both parties. So the Democrats have to take some blame for that.
Go ahead.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump faced off last night, one last time, at the annual Al Smith charity dinner in New York, which I was proud to be as well. The tone a little lighter than the last debate. Listen.
People look at the Statue of Liberty and they see a proud symbol of our history. Donald looks at the Statue of Liberty and sees a 4. Maybe a 5 if she loses the torch and tablet and changes her hair.
Just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." And I very politely replied, "Let me talk to you about that after I get into office."
Tom, your take on that?
My take is that you were the co-star. I think you were a little defensive about the white gloves. You kept taking them on and taking them off.
Oh my God! I was sending a text.
I also think you got a shout out from Hillary, which the Fox organization does not deserve, but you do.
Thank you.
And
wow.
She said, named all the names, and then she said, and this is like a news conference. My take on it was that neither of them are great comics. I wouldn't invite them to do their act at Vegas.
I'm curious.
Just for the record, Fox has been very respectful to Hillary Clinton, and we invite her on the show all the time. I just wanted to shout out to Fox.
Well, you should, because she's likely to be the next president. But the fact is that, she was pretty funny.
Okay.
Well, she was self-deprecating, which
let's hear Hillary Clinton give this lady a shout out. We have this.
Oh, you have that?
Yeah, we have it queued up. I want to hear
Very good.
it.
I'm glad.
We got Charlie Rose and Maria Bartiromo and Chris Matthews and Gayle King and Norah O'Donnell and Katie Couric. This counts as a press conference, right?
And she said your name correctly,
Yes.
which is. I'm curious because the coverage of Trump's speech, particularly in the New York Times today, is so negative about that he was vicious and that it wasn't funny toward the end and that he was getting booed. Was it that bad?
Well, everybody, he had some good jokes, and everybody was laughing initially when he said, everybody's working overtime and they're supporting Hillary. There's the New York Times and there's the Washington Post and ABC, CBS. So he did get some, and then the joke about Melania got some laughs. But when he went down the road of serious negativity, she doesn't
Hillary hates Catholics.
She hates Catholics. That's when he got booed. Because at that point, we were back in campaign trail mode. Right. And I think people were at a moment last night where they just wanted to stop and laugh at each other.
I was I think that was. I was personally curious because people watching it on TV, very often the mood in the room is completely different. And I was.
Well, we heard some of the boos, Dagen.
Yeah, you could hear it, but sometimes it's not as bad as it seems, or it's worse than it seems when you're watching.
The great thing for these candidates,
and then they laughed again. With
the great thing for these candidates is the last time they have to see each other until Election Day or perhaps afterward. I think that these people are so exhausted at this point.
Yeah.
You all had the experience of back and forth to Vegas and arriving at different hours. But she arrived yesterday at 5:29 a.m. at the Westchester County Airport, then had to schlep home and do her 5 million calls and emails, if you'll excuse the expression, and then schlep to New York and do this event.
It's a lot.
This has been going on forever.
Yeah.
It's like, it's terrible.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, I know.
How much sleep did you get this week,
I
Dagen?
slept 6 hours in 4 days, I think. So.
That's pretty good.
I'm there too. Something like that.
But one thing, but to your point, you're right. These guys, President Obama can deliver a funny speech.
Yeah.
If you give him material, he can deliver it time and again. And these two, even Mitt Romney did at the Al Smith dinner when he was running 4 years ago. These guys have no comic timing.
I have a factual question. Did they shake hands?
At the end of the night, they did shake hands. Yeah.
At the end of their speeches?
At the end of the, well, you mean at the debate?
No, I'm talking about...
at the end of the night when people were saying goodnight, they did shake hands.
I know.
Actually.
That's unusual. That shows what the cardinal could do, having to sit between these two people.
No,
shows the
but
power of faith.
Dolan for that. Yeah.
Power of faith and religion. But if I may just say something serious, what we really have to try to prepare in America, I have not high confidence, but some confidence, is that Hillary will win. And what we have to do is bring everybody in this country together.
Well, let's see if the next president can do that. This is a very important point you're making. Tom, good to see you.
Thank you. Great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The gloves you won't use much, I can tell you.
It's not fair there. If you missed the final presidential debate, tune into the Fox Business Network this Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern for our special telecast of the third and final presidential debate hosted by Chris Wallace. We're back in a minute, right here.